All right, everyone, welcome to another episode. There's YouTube. It caught up to another episode of the BCS Sports Show. It's your boys. And Bryce, not him. I don't think he knows what a basketball is, if we're being honest. Bryce has Luca spicy things.
Luca takes.
Look, it's
Luca well takes.
And again, it has everything to do with the fact that I have a BYU burner account, basically.
Right.
And so, because I'm in this space of like BYU and Utah fans, and so there one commonality between BYU and Utah fans, actually, there's two now with the Utah Hockey Club, but the biggest commonality is still the Utah Jazz. They're all Jazz fans.
Yeah.
And so I see all these Jazz things, and I see all these terrible takes going, well, maybe, and like, even from like beat writers who are like, I don't know, looking a little out of shape and all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, Luka's best days are still ahead of him, and that's regardless of whether or not he's in a Lakers jersey or not.
Bro's not even 26 left yet.
He hasn't even seen the peak of his career yet.
Yeah.
And so for people I just was like, did people forget that this was like, it was funny because it was like he had like a couple bad games in a row. It was like against the Jazz and then against the who was the other?
The Hornets.
The Hornets. I was trying to remember because he took a game off too.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to make sure I didn't remember his game off as one of the games. But people, I'm like, he was out.
Yeah.
He was out.
He was out for like 2 months.
For like a month. Yeah, or 2 months or whatever. And it's like, so don't like, do you just not like pay attention to basketball and you're just like, oh, this guy's looking not great right now. And it's like, well, duh, he's still getting back into, like, he's two things. He's getting back into the groove after an injury.
Yes.
One.
Yep.
And two, he's getting used to a new system and
like,
a new team.
His life got uprooted in a matter of 12 hours. Cut the man some slack.
Anyways. And it's just funny. So it's like this trade will go down as the biggest steal in NBA history. Like, maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest. Like,
it is the biggest. I literally cannot fathom another one that's as big of a steal. The only one I
still kind of go back to is Pau Gasol to the Lakers.
But Pau Gasol is not nearly the player Luka is. That's the thing. But
the impact that Luka will have on the Lakers, particularly if he re-signs with them at the end of his contract, or signs an extension or whatever it is, it will go down as like, what the heck was like, and there's still like every interview and everything I've seen from Dallas, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What were you guys doing? Like,
it's funny
considering AD's already out. So I mean,
literally the first half of his first game.
There was a short I watched that was like it was like it showed AD early on in the game. And it like the short, like it was a cartoon, and AD's like, yeah, I'm here in Dallas, I'm gonna dominate, and like that's exactly how it was. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it shows him like right after he's saying he's gonna dominate, and he just like collapses in on himself, and it's like, yeah, that's AD, like,
yeah.
And LeBron and Luka are both like, whew, we avoided that one.
Yeah, it's crazy, and not only that, but the way the Mavericks have handled the aftermath of the trade has been so bad. In terms of kicking out fans in games, and their just constant leakage to the media of how Luka was a problem and his attitude was bad and he was out of shape, and like,
did you see a bunch of people fall for one of those burner or like one of those parody accounts on Twitter? There's a it's like a parody account of another NBA account where they call themselves NBA Centel. Like,
the Centel,
yeah, the Centel, and they a bunch of people they put out this tweet where it was like, Dallas is banning people from wearing Luka jerseys to the arena, And people were like, "How could they do this? This is such bad handling." And I think even KD got on and was like, "You guys got sentled." Like,
yeah. Did you
like,
see the hype?
What your
Did
Sorry, say that again.
No, did you see the hype video the Mavericks released yesterday? It's like some like rapper.
Wait,
no, okay, so hold on. There was a rap video that they like a hype video with a local rapper that the Mavericks released, and there are parts in the video where they're blurring out certain Mavericks players. And for a couple hours, people were like, they just edited out Luka from all of their hype video content.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But kept like Maxi Kleber and other guys in the trade. It turns out that they didn't like edit Luka out, I guess, but it wasn't great. It wasn't a good look.
So I got two things. One, apparently the Brazilian commentators for the for ESPN fell for the Luka jersey being banned and brought it up tonight on the broadcast.
Fantastic.
And I'm just gonna send you guys this this block from Joel Embiid. Block of the year. For those you guys watching who can't see it because I saw it on Twitter, I will describe it here in a second after everyone sees it. But the best way I can describe it is Embiid did his best. How he survived that is beyond me.
Oh my gosh.
Bro.
He sold out for that one.
Honestly, he caused to travel there.
He did. It was legitimate. He didn't.
He's him like flying at him. He's like, oh, well, actually, the travel kind of occurred before he jumped, but he might have seen him flying towards him. Like, what do I do here?
That was great.
That's the man. That's the man, the defender at the end of a 99-yard touchdown that just kind of like half dives to the guy before he hits the goal line just to show that he's trying. Yeah,
that's like every like freshman. If you guys, I don't know if did you guys play basketball in high school?
Not in high school. I played in middle school.
I played baseball.
I played soccer.
Oh, so middle school that works too. If you ever have watched freshman basketball games or middle school basketball games, but freshman basketball games, that's exactly how the defense is running up. Like, if there's ever a guy who's getting one of those cherry pick shots up the court, there's always one guy who's like, block, and he like jumps way past everybody, and it's like you never get the block. Not when you're that age. Like
you do that to show you're trying.
Not gonna get that block. That's why NBA players don't try to get that block.
Right. Man.
That
was hilarious clip, and that's really funny they got sentled. The other big NBA news, Wemby.
I thought I was say Wemby, or is it Victor Oladipo apparently going to being the front run, the Knicks being the front runner for him?
Wait, Victor Oladipo still plays basketball?
Apparently.
Oh. I mean, he's been so like Oladipo's awesome, but his knees like destroyed themselves. He hasn't been the same since like 2015. I feel bad because he was awesome for a couple years.
But the DVTs.
Yeah, the Wemby.
So Bryce and I have a friend's mom is a nurse, and I guess she saw it and made the comment that DVTs that early in someone's lifespan can sometimes be a early distinction for cancer. So that's interesting.
I mean,
but it was in his shoulder, right?
It was in his shoulder. It was similar. Brandon Ingram, I guess, had this like 4 years ago. So like it was a blood clot in his shoulder versus like Chris Bosh, who had it in his lungs, which is way worse.
Yeah, that's way worse. This was in his shoulder,
shoulder, yeah. And apparently the Spurs said that he's going to be back by the start of next year. So I guess that's good news that they're optimistic.
Yeah. DVT is usually a sign of cancer if someone is in their young 20s. I don't know how necessarily old he is, but like this also came from people looking at stats where it was like, I know these blood clots are generally in older people.
Well, and the thing is, if the younger people cancer thing, most of those people probably aren't 7'3", because that's the thing is they're more common in people who are super tall too.
Yeah,
so.
and most of the time too, as long as it's like not Because I know like the survival rate is like it's ridiculously high.
Yeah, it's like 98% or 99% or something. Yeah.
I think they said 75 because again, it's usually it's usually the late, but usually it's like in the legs from what I remember.
And that's what happened to like Jason Taylor when he played with Washington like 15 years ago or whatever. He had that in his leg, and then he ended up like missing the rest of the year and came back. But
yeah, so it's not. I don't think it's necessarily like a huge issue, probably, because if it's up in the shoulder, they probably caught it before it did anything.
Yeah, and I mean, the professional athletes' medical staff is going to be much better than the average person's.
And they're usually on, and they're going to be on it. So you might have to be on blood thinners for a little bit, so don't get cut.
Yeah.
And then did you guys see what's his name? The coach.
Popovich is also out the rest of the year with a stroke. He said he was out the rest of the year.
He's out the rest of the year, and he might be done.
Yeah,
he might be retiring.
That sucks.
Which I honestly he should at this point. Like,
he got nothing left to prove.
I don't want to like tell him what to do. Like he do whatever his heart desires. Like the guy has earned whatever he wants to do. Yes. As much as I've had, my team, the Lakers, has had a rivalry with him over the years. Like I respect the crap out of Greg Popovich. Like
he's the man.
He is one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yes.
And so, like, what's funny is I was watching a video earlier. This is before I saw that news of it was like his beef with Dennis Rodman back in the mid '90s. Back when Rodman was like he
was on the Spurs
Rodman was just like well, I'm gonna do what I want, and like he is like that's what he does.
Yeah.
And Popovich was like, No, this isn't gonna work for me. You aren't gonna do what you want. You're either getting in line or you're getting out. And they literally got rid of him to the Bulls, like just for nothing, because they were like, "No, this does not fit with what we want."
Oh, that's rough.
But anyways, so it's
I guess the Lakers ended up winning the game, but I guess Mike Malone sat all his starters with 5 minutes left.
Hey, I'll take that fourth quarter rest. That's fine.
The game started getting away, and he was just like,
"Yeah, forget it."
Honestly, I'll take that because he will keep them in way too fucking long. Like there are times we're down 20, and he with 3 minutes left, he still has them in.
Well, and you wonder if like Jokic or somebody saw like the writing on the wall and was the person to tell him like, "You got to take us out." Like just.
Oh, there's a lot of times too. There's no point with games you're not gonna necessarily win.
Yeah.
Well, like a couple of weeks ago, I think it was like last week or the week before. Yes, this is bringing in BYU as Spects is hating on me. Like, but I
don't hate.
And they were up on K-State. They were up on Kansas State like 15 points, and K-State like with like 2 minutes left just started fouling.
Nice.
Like every time BYU down the court, and it's like BYU's not great at making free throws, so that was like not a horrible strategy because they did pull within like 10, but then like they couldn't. There was no way they were too far out. It was just like somebody needed to tell the coach like it's over. It's
just
like it's
throw
done.
the towel in with this one.
Go home.
Yeah.
And yeah. So anyways.
And can I bring up the fun stat that we were talking about earlier in the week of Kobe and LeBron from good old Nick? I am a Kansas City homer. Right?
Yeah. All right.
So for those
So
for those of you who don't know, Nick Wright, LeBron is the GOAT, right? Decided to put out a video on every social media saying that LeBron in the last in the last 30
it was the last 30 seconds
he went the final minute. LeBron has a 46%, 23 of 50, 46%. Kobe Bryant is 12 of 24 for 27%. And then narrowing the scope down to 30 seconds, LeBron is 14 of 35 for 40%. Kobe is 8 of 31 for 26%. And the last 5 seconds, LeBron is 8 of 20 for 40%. Kobe is 4 of 18 for 22%. And the hilarious is right underneath it was from a tweet from Basketball Reference says, "We'll expand the time range for a bit. For his career, Kobe Bryant took 139 field goals in the last 2 minutes of a close playoff game and shot 43.2% on this. for comparison's sake, Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, 35, 85, 41.2%. LeBron, 68 of 168, 40.5%. Kevin Durant, 53 of 136, 39%. Steph Curry, 43 of 120 for 122, 35.2%. Now, I will admit, I did look up Kobe buzzer beaters, and I think Bryce did too. There's only, in his entire career, the video was 3.5 minutes long, which I think says, like you were saying, more about the era, because you could hand check back in those days. And plus, too, the only time Kobe ever made a buzzer beater in the playoffs was against the Suns that I remember. All the other shots were like Derek Fisher and Shaq. Like, the one I remember is Shaq dunking on Portland.
Right. Yeah, so
Kobe, I think, hit a couple other ones. Like, there was one against Portland that he hit.
I think it was in the same. Oh no, did he do it against the Kings too?
He did one against the Kings. Like, Kobe had some buzzer beaters. They just weren't always as like memorable as some of the other stuff because the Lakers have had some like crazy things happen, like the .4 shot and that. Kobe's actually, honestly, like a lot of the moments that he had, but especially when he was playing with Shaq, there were some great Kobe passes in the final minute where he's like, where he pulls the defense and is like, he recognizes the moment. He goes, "Oh, the defense, all right, throw it into like."
It's the alley-oop. That's right. This is what I was talking about. That was yeah. This was way later than I thought. Okay, this was earlier. I thought it was way later in the game. It was at 40 seconds.
Are you talking about the one to Shaq where Shaq points at him?
Shaq just posterizes Rasheed Wallace.
And then Shaq points at Kobe like...
And he points, yeah. That was one.
So yeah, I mean, as you know, I don't like Nick Wright. And I think there's a lot of context that gets lost by just looking at the field goal percentage.
Well, the whole thing is I don't necessarily like field goal percentage.
I don't either.
I don't think field goal percentage necessarily shows everything.
No,
because to me, the whole thing is it doesn't make. It's sort of like batting average to a certain degree, where it doesn't tell the whole scope of what's going on.
Agreed.
It just says, "Hey, did you make the shot or did you not make the shot?"
Right.
It's like if he's fouled or something, that's a miss. It still counts as a miss, and he goes to the line or something.
Well, and the thing is, it doesn't take into account the number of points a shot is worth. Like, if you're down 3 and you shoot a 3, it's going to by default be a lower percentage by field goal percentage. But if you look at your effective field goal percentage instead, that gives you a better picture of the actual like points you're putting up, essentially.
And also, too, didn't they did a lot, especially in Kobe's era, they did a lot of mid-range jumpers where they pull up.
And that's the thing, is the era is so much different between the defensive rules up until like 2006, where you could just hand check the crap out of a guy, and whereas now you can't touch a guy at all. So that is a big factor of why Kobe's is so much lower. The fact that LeBron has played with better players, just in general.
Are you saying Derek Fisher wasn't good?
No, I mean, basically, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, LeBron has played with
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kobe had Shaq,
Pau Gasol. Post prime, you had Gary Payton.
Yeah, those they don't count at that point. That's post prime. So like the players Kobe had to pull, like, who else is going to take that shot? It's going to be Kobe. Whereas LeBron had...
You tell me Smush Parker can't
what's funny is you brought up like one of his more memorable buzzer beaters against the Suns in the playoffs in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
You know who instigated the entire play that led to that Kobe? Was that one? I think that was a game tying one.
No, that was a game winner, wasn't it?
Was it a game winner?
It was a game winner, yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was a game winner because I thought there was like 2 shots in that one where you had like a tying one and then like a game-winning shot.
Yeah, it was a game winner. I mean, there's 2 that come to my mind.
Smush Parker,
was Smush Parker
ball out and then gets it to Kobe,
and then
Kobe's literally hugging him like,
"Yeah,
you finally did something good for me. You finally did something."
And the other one that comes to mind is the one where he shoots over Dwayne Wade.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm not a Kobe apologist, but that's just
you shouldn't. You don't. There's no need for you to be.
But I hate it when, and part of it's because my day job is literally dealing with data.
Is
analytics. I hate it when people just put a number out there and say this is the reality when there's so much context around it that it's not even a valid number anymore.
So
it drives me insane.
To help Bryce out
on Twitter, I have this.
For Bryce. Bryce, for context, Kobe did a Smush Parker. Smush Parker got a steal off the Nash that tied it, and then I think the ensuing play.
Was it like the? No. It was an overtime. Yeah.
Smush Parker got the tie
yesterday. Yeah, Kobe sent it to overtime, and then he had a play in over. He had the game-winning shot in overtime.
No, he got it in regulation. I'm already watching it right now. I'm watching it right now. Yeah, what? He gets it. He got the game-winning win. Yeah, they got the ball back, and then they get a jump ball, and he scores with 0.7 left or something. I rewatched it because I was.
Right. Okay, because I watched
Vujacic got the jump. Hold on, I don't know why I'm reading this because CJ's like, I don't care. Luke Walton with it on a pull-up jumper that you would never see again in the NBA.
No, I'm right.
Walton, what a legend.
I'm right. Kobe tied it up with 0.7 seconds left. And then
he wins it. No, it wasn't overtime.
Shot. Yeah.
I'm watching it right now. It's on overtime. They get a jump ball. What am I watching?
Yeah, it says OT.
The game winner wasn't an OT, yeah.
Were there two? Because this is what I'm watching, and they won it in regulation.
Are you watching the one from 06?
Yes. This one.
Hold on. Let's see.
Wait, why does it say OT? It was OT. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one I'm watching too, yeah.
Okay. It was OT. I could have sworn he tied it up and then won the game. Like, it was all, like...
Okay.
Wasn't that the year where the Lakers were up 3-1 on the Suns, and then the Suns came back?
Yeah.
And Kobe at the end of it was just like, we weren't even supposed to be up. Like,
it doesn't help that the broadcast doesn't have OT across the bar.
It's in the corner. Yeah, so that was weird.
It's in the corner. Like,
it's so dumb.
I was so confused.
Okay, I was confused because I was like, I'm watching this and it says OT. Like,
what's the score going to OT? Oh, they only score. Wait,
it was 90-90
points.
So it was
like 9 points in overtime. Yeah. Like
how long are the quarters in overtime in the
five.
Is it only 5 minutes?
5, yeah.
Oh, that's why. I'm like, that doesn't seem like a lot of scoring. Okay.
Yeah, but it's also the era too. Like, this is.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
so
back when
weird
mattered.
to watch basketball pre Steph Curry and to watch it now, where it's like.
I now have to watch when Kobe shot over Dwayne Wade for reasons.
Right.
For reasons,
because you just need that in your life.
Because it was the most absurd thing I think I've ever seen. I think Bryce and I watched this game together. Actually,
did you?
There was a weird era where Bryce and I were watching a lot of Laker games for no reason when they were good. God, this shot! Oh my God!
All right, I gotta see it over.
That shot, double teamed.
Dwayne Wade, proud owner of the Utah Jazz.
Oh my God!
He does own the Utah Jazz. It was kind of funny.
Partially, like he's a very like background owner, but the only reason is because Ryan Smith, the main owner of the Jazz, he wants to be in with like these people that like his sports idols kind of thing, and so he was like,
Trump and Wade, and he just shoots. Oh God, I can't believe it, man.
I will still say one of my favorite Kobe moments. Like I said, like there's so many moments where Kobe just passed it off because like he recognizes like I'm drawing all the attention.
I feel so bad having a Kobe Bryant reminiscence.
No, that's fine. Like,
sorry, but the one that I remember
I like basketball.
when he passed it off to Ron Artest. Later. And what's funny is you and I did watch that game together.
We did.
And we were watching the interviews after, And you have runners. Kobe pass me the ball.
The ball. Hey, now.
The ball.
The Zen master told me not to shoot.
Jackson's voice got inside my head because he's Zen master in your head, and he was like, "Don't shoot the ball. Don't shoot the ball." And I shot it, and it was just like, it's like the funniest interview of all time. I like Ron Artest was, and that's the funniest guy, he's man. Probably the craziest. Like
he has the fun. Like, he has the fun.
In terms of guys who are like really good at basketball, he's one of the craziest.
Mm-hmm.
Him and
Dennis Rodman and Lance Stevenson.
Dennis Rodman and those are the three guys who are all really good at basketball, but just absolutely crazy.
My favorite thing was, have you ever seen the documentary about with the mouse at the palace?
Oh, which one? The one on the Netflix one?
I think?
Yeah, I watched that one.
Wasn't that the one where Ron Artest said, "Hey, do you think we'll be suspended tomorrow for this?"
Yeah, he did say that.
Like,
in the locker room.
We'll be like, we have jobs tomorrow after this.
I will say that's honestly one of the greatest like career like redemption stories. God. The fact that he was able to come back from that and play good basketball for the Rockets, good basketball for the Lakers.
Bro, why was Ron Artest so open?
He kind of fizzled out at the end of his career, but
why was Ron Artest? I'm rewatching that shot. Why was Ron Artest so open? Like Pierce didn't even contest.
Because he had missed a couple shots like that series, that like couple big shots, so they were like, go ahead and shoot it, and then he makes the shot, and you're just like, oh,
hey, shoot, man.
That's true.
Well, he was also not a shooter. That was the
true.
He was
he was okay. Did not pull in Ron Artest for his shooting.
Oh, that's true.
That was his defense, right?
Yeah, it was his defense.
He shot 34%, which in the day, not bad. Back in the before times.
Ron Artest hit a buzzer beater from half court. What the fuck? Holy shit!
There's a lot of guys that like. Emmanuel Moutier's hit a buzzer beater from half court, so sometimes that stuff just happens.
I think we kind of got away from, like, was there anything else we were supposed to be talking about tonight? Like,
not really. Like there's not much more.
I'm cool. I'm cool reminiscing just old school basketball.
Did you like the GIF I made for you, CJ? The Kobe game winner over the Nuggets.
I didn't notice until you messaged the second time that it was against the Nuggets. Like I watched it and it didn't register that it was against the Nuggets because they were wearing their baby blue jerseys.
Who was that over?
I was like, oh, okay.
It was 03. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know.
I'll find out.
It was in. I think that was what's his name? Melo's rookie year.
2003 would have been Melo's rookie year.
Yeah, so because I remember like watching it and Kobe. All I did was
that is
to see if there was a.
I think that's Linus Kleza.
Let's see if I can find a number on the.
It's 29
YouTube video here.
It's either Linus Kleza or Eduardo Nahara. I think those were the two.
I found it. Hold on.
It's impossible to see the. It was number 20-something. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna find out. We're on the case.
It's a white dude. It looks like.
Yeah, that'll make it actually a little easier to figure out who it is.
That might have been
because there's not as many.
Nahara, right? Like
it could be Nahara. Yeah. Let me find out teams.
Hold on. I think they said it. Hold on.
2003 Denver Nuggets.
That wasn't Camby, was it?
No, that wasn't Camby.
Camby, I think it was Camby.
Because I'm seeing a number, but I feel like it's
22. If it's 22, then it's Nicholas Sheshvili.
I think that's right. It looks like a 20. Is it 20 or 29?
If it's 20, then it's John Barry.
20. It's 20.
That's John Barry.
That's John Barry.
Yeah. Was he any good?
I mean, he's Rick Barry's kid.
Oh, yeah, that is John Barry. Yeah, no, that is 100% John Barry. He's got that Barry face. Yeah. He's got that Barry face.
He's basically just like a career 7.
So it wasn't a white dude, but
John Barry's
right. Barry wasn't a white dude, right?
Yeah,
so
he was.
Yeah, he was very white.
He was one of the whitest.
This picture, okay. Well, this other picture I'm seeing of him broadcasting, maybe it's just the lighting. He just doesn't look.
He is very tan. I will give him that. He is.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah. He's definitely a white dude.
It's definitely.
It's a bad picture that I saw.
It's not
like
great.
I was like, what I'm seeing on the replay video, I'm like, that's a white dude.
Yeah, it is.
So.
Hell yeah, Nuggets legend.
Oh man,
he played half a season.
Oh, Josh Hart
with their team. What did Josh Hart say? He is funny. All right. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about? We are 30 minutes in. Like any baseball stuff? What is the ABS stuff? The automatic strike, whatever?
Well, it seems to be working from the little bit they've done. It's only in spring training games, but the first one was overturned.
That's good. I heard one manager bitch about it.
I saw enough to determine from that first inning that the Angels are winning the World Series this year. So
they made back-to-back errors in the outfield, so let's hold our breath.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I was totally kidding. I don't really think
the Rockies. My favorite thing though from baseball today was Zach Evans or whatever his name is, hit a grand slam for the Rockies and accidentally did the most disrespectful bat flip I've ever seen.
Nice. Hey, that's the only way he's gonna get all year, so let's go.
He did one of the he was one of those ones where he swung too hard and he went to come back around, his bat slipped out of his hands and flipped like the Korean baseball league, and he instantly he's like oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't know it slipped. You can kind of tell too, it slipped.
That's funny.
And the best part is they're interviewing Bud Black while he did it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it's on Twitter, and it was just
here it is. I'm gonna watch it.
It was hilarious because it was just damn, that's disrespectful. And he's like, oh, I did it sorry.
Oh my god, that was to the pitcher too. That was super disrespectful.
Yeah, and they zoom in, and he instantly says, "I'm sorry." You could tell it slipped. It was just Jesus.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I read a power rankings the other day of baseball, and our two teams were neck and neck. You guys were 27, we were 28. So
yeah,
it's something to keep an eye out for the rest of the year. See how we end.
Yeah, that race. Yeah, there is another angle to Zach Veen homer where if you from the side where he does it, and he instantly goes sorry because that thing, you could tell it kind of it got air. He did not mean to do that.
Yeah. Yo, he smoked that ball though.
My God, he hit the piss out of that one.
I was gonna say, yeah, he cranked that.
Right. So you might have some promise yet, dude.
I don't know. I mean, who is he? This is the first time I've ever seen that man in my life.
He's a top prospect for you guys.
All right, that's good.
I know that means nothing to you.
It doesn't, because we're terrible, and we'll always be terrible until we have new ownership, and until we actually embrace our altitude instead of introducing the humidifier.
Did your owner come out and say he's going to lose $50 million this year, and he's pouting?
No, that's hilarious. Mine is usually hey, we're going to be 10 games under 500, and it'll be a great year, and I'm like, cool, I'm glad we're trying. This is great.
Ours said we're going to lose $50 million, and you'll like it.
I hate baseball.
I'm over Artie Murray, I've been over him for years. So.
Don't worry, Bryce and I will make our own Angels podcast, and it'll just be us bitching about Artie all baseball season.
Honestly, that probably would do numbers.
No, they have that. There's a bunch of them already who do it.
I was gonna say we would just be entering an already flooded market.
It really is already flooded.
Oh my goodness! But anyways, yeah, no, I have nothing else. I'm just the only other thing I thought of during this whole time was the fact that with Wemby out this year, I would hate my life if the Spurs somehow just slipped right into the number 1 pick.
Oh, I do have.
And then all of a sudden you got Wemby and Cooper Flagg playing together. I'd be like, dude, this can't keep happening.
Gross.
This can't keep happening for them. Just
another Tim Duncan situation.
No, I don't think they can. Wait, where are they?
So
right now,
in the lottery.
In terms of, they're in the lottery.
All you have to do is be in the lottery, and you can get the.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no.
I will say, and I didn't mention this, the Wemby injury ends up being very interesting for Cleveland and Memphis because since Wemby won't be Defensive Player of the Year this year, it means Jaren Jackson Jr. or Evan Mobley probably will be, and that makes them eligible for the Supermax.
Sure, it's not going to be Rudy Gobert again.
It might be. It could be. No, 100%. But Memphis and Cleveland are pissed that Wemby's hurt because it screws up makes their cap sheet harder to deal with over the next.
You know, it'd be funny. You know, it'd be absolutely hilarious to get the number 1 pick. Philly.
I would hate that so much. Philly's so bad. They are so bad. I don't know. Who do we want to get Cooper Flag, if we're being honest?
Chicago, I think would be interesting.
Chicago?
Yeah.
I guess who hasn't traded their first round pick?
As of now,
I honestly wouldn't. I know I'm like somebody who's out here in Utah, but I honestly wouldn't hate if the Jazz got it because they've got a lot of young talent that they've built up. It would be nice to see Cooper Flag.
There's a wrinkle here that I just saw.
What?
Technically speaking, San Antonio has 2 shots at the number 1 pick because they have Atlanta's pick and it's not protected.
Ooh.
According to Tankathon.
Honestly, regardless of who gets it, do you think Oklahoma City should just trade their treasure chest of picks?
Wait. Okay, I didn't realize this. So in the lottery, which is the top 10 picks, 15. Right? Is it 15?
14.
So in terms of the top, 14. So teams that trade away their pick, that could be interesting. Philly traded theirs to Oklahoma City. Atlanta traded theirs to San Antonio. Phoenix traded theirs to Houston. Sacramento traded theirs to Atlanta, and Golden State traded theirs to Miami. So technically, San Antonio has 2 shots to get the first round pick right now at a 2% clip and a 3% clip. Oklahoma City has a 9% chance to get the number 1 pick.
Oklahoma City's going to Cooper Flag. They have to cash in at some point with all of the assets they have. They're going to go get Cooper Flag, regardless of who has the number 1 pick. They will trade.
We'll see.
Like, you throw like 2 or 3 of the rotation players, Oklahoma City, and like 4 or 5 first-round picks over the next decade, good ones.
Okay,
team will say yes.
I lied. Philadelphia's pick is top 1 through 6 protected. So as long as it's in the top 6, Oklahoma City does not get that pick.
Okay. Still, though, Oklahoma City can just trade for whatever they want.
If they want to, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But in terms of best odds, it'd be Washington, and I don't think Washington's necessarily going to trade out of that.
Maybe. The thing is, though, Washington is so bad.
Washington and New Orleans are tied with the highest odds at 14%.
Right. I don't know, man. I just think even if, because Cooper Flag isn't a Wemby level prospect from everything I've heard. Like, if Oklahoma City says, I'll offer you 5 firsts and 2 young players on our roster.
He's like really good, but he's not like, this is going to bring your organization to the next level.
You know what?
Unless you're already established like Oklahoma City.
He would be good to a piece of teams that either has good young talent already. Like I said, that's why I would actually like to see him on the Jazz, just because the Jazz have picked up some Bryce Sensabaugh and Keontae George, and like they've got a few guys that are like up and coming, that are pretty decent. That like it would help him because he'd be meshing with like young, and he'd be able to bring everybody up. Right. Whereas if he's going to a team that either has a guy like Wembanyama, or if he's going to a team that has nobody, it's like he's either gonna be drowned by too much talent around him, or he's gonna be drowned by a lack of talent. He needs like a good amount of talent. I'm
gonna ask a dumb question. Would people be in a better situation if you're kind of like, so in terms of like the top? I don't even necessarily know per se, but like let's say you're Charlotte. I'm only throwing Charlotte out there because I think Charlotte's got a little bit of talent. Let's say you're in the realm of Charlotte. Would you trade the number 4 pick for like to like an Oklahoma City and be like, we might be better off with next year's number one guy coming out of BYU versus like whoever they're going to get and VJ Ikombe, hypothetically for next year in 2026.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on who's in that 4th slot, right? Because if it's 4, you're not getting flagged, and if you're not,
because right now it would be right now it's Washington, New Orleans, and then Utah,
right?
Which would be Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, and Ace Bradley,
right?
Or Ace Bailey. So I don't necessarily know if Washington would be like, yeah, if they get it, we're like, oh, we don't necessarily want Cooper Flag. We know we're going to suck next year. We'd rather have what's his face. I'm assuming he's the number 1 pick next year.
I mean, right now, but like things can change.
But I mean, like hypothetically.
Yeah, and I mean, like based on the way people talk about you're talking about AJ DeBonsa.
Is it DeBonsa?
DeBonsa's the big one. The year after next,
yeah. And the way people talk about him is it's like yeah, Cooper Flag's really good this year, but like people are thinking that DeBonsa could be like game changing, next level talent, like number 1 player in 5 years or something.
So that's my question is like, if you're sort of looking at that and it's like DeBonsa's the guy, are you in a better position to be like, we'd rather...
What if DeBonsa comes out and like, and like there's been concerns. I don't think that they're necessarily warranted, particularly given like his age and the talent he plays with. I don't think it's necessarily a fair thing. But like, what if it comes out that like culturally he's just not going to be a good fit anywhere because he thinks that like everything should be handed to him? Like, it could be that like you don't want to you want to take the bet, like, unless you just are absolutely unsold on this year's crop of talent, like unless you have that number 1 pick and you're like, yeah, Cooper Flag's gonna be good, but not. We don't think he's like gonna be like able to like take our organization to the next level. Unless you are like 100% sure based on all the workouts that you see from Cooper Flag, you've got to take your opportunities now. And like the biggest thing for me is like, unless you're, a team like the Lakers that can continue to sign or trade for talent, that's game changing. Your best chance of getting game changing talent is through the draft.
No, I get that. I'm just it's more or less of like,
you don't want to play too many games with the draft.
Or do you think, or is it just a spot of like, oh, we could have our cake and eat it too? Because it's not like Washington's gonna be good next year. They'll probably be in the same boat next year.
And it's possible. Yeah. And I mean, that's like that's the thing. But like, why not take Cooper Flag and then just tell Cooper Flag like, hey, go play your heart out. We're not going to surround you with anything this year, and we're just gonna we want to get you DeBonsa next year or whatever.
Not possible.
I mean, it feels like that's what the Spurs have done with Wembanyama. It's like,
then they got him De'Aaron Fox.
Decent like teams, but like we're not going to try too hard until we can get you like another like
guy
to be your guy, like to be your second person for the next 10 years. But I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that's just me. But like I think like you take the talent you can in the draft now, and then if you want, tank another year to get like another piece of young amazingness. But anyways.
Yeah.
Anywho, is there anything else?
No, I think I'm good. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back Wednesday. The midweek. And
I'm gonna bring this week, so you guys have to watch. I'm gonna bring some games for me and CJ to play.
Sweet. That sounds good. Let's do it.
We can do some on Saturday too. We'll see how they go. Wednesday's our testing ground, so
Hell
Bryce
yeah.
can be produced.
It's the half episode.
Yeah, Bryce is the producer on Wednesdays, and he just tells us when we're wrong. We can always jump into the call and yell at us.
You suck!